Hello, it's been a while. Different video this time around. I'm almost making this more for me than for you, just so I can remember everything that I've been up to so far, just this year. I'm also much more of a narrative person with a horrible memory, so don't judge me for reading from my little script right below the camera. First off, my month-long break. The overwhelming success to The Seeker's Guide to Twisted Taverns was just that. Overwhelming. I needed at least a month to make sure that we stayed on track, having hit every single stretch goal and adding all those last minute, so that was tough. And on top of that, around the same time, I've had to deal with a very long-term, close friendship that recently changed. But the book's coming along and everything is looking absolutely amazing. Here's some of the sample art, just look at that. Look at that thing. That's pretty cool. And because I'm not a smart guy at all, I've also been working on a pretty big number of other projects. First off, let's go with You Arrive in a Town. It's a super cute couch game developed by a small indie studio where you play through a literal tabletop adventure and take down an evil lich. The devs of this wacky adventure actually let me voice the narrator, which was an incredible learning opportunity that I'm very grateful for. So check out their game as a courtesy. This isn't sponsored or anything because I like to see smaller teams get a second chance with a bit of a better budget and some experience under their belt. Because I've been there, and it's been a year. After that, Tall Tales. Holy crap. If you haven't watched Tall Tales, watch one of the more recent episodes. I made this channel to run my own live games, and I invited a bunch of other creators, and now we literally just make up D&D one-shot adventures out of thin air, with audience participation, which I think is super cool. So you can be a part of it while you watch, and you can change the game with your donations. So it's very engaging, it's exciting to see things that none of us expected happen, and that's pretty much every episode. We've got Fel the Leb, Adan, Jacob from some green YouTube channel, and a handful of other creators, which are all funnier than me. Speaking of creator collaborations, I've also been writing like Hamilton for 2 months. Aside from the animated music video with Joe Cat and Anna Pantsu, I've also had the pleasure of working with Slugfest Games, who made Red Dragon Inn. Maybe you've heard of it, it's just really cool. It's a super fun card game that we traded with for a feature treasure card in their upcoming pack, and both a menu and a full side quest in the Seeker's Guide that kind of hints at their lore and theirs hints at ours. It's cool. Did you guys get to see Hexbound? That was another Kickstarter that ran while ours was running, and it's about witches and stuff. We also did some cool stuff with them. I made this barbarian subclass for them, and we got a traveling witch vendor added to our book. I think I can actually promise that this book will be very, very close to 500 pages. It's chunky. If you've noticed that my projects are forged with Ghostfire, it's because they're my main partner in Eldermancy, and I couldn't do most of this without them, especially with Stibbles. Speaking of which, that's out now. People are getting it. Here's a couple of confirmation pictures. Yay. Their new book is super cool, and they're expanding the Grim Hollow setting with a book of monsters later this or next month. I don't know when this will go up. I did create like 3 subclasses for their player's guide to the game, so that was also fun. In addition to that, I'm working with the creator of City of Mist to make my own expansion pack. It's an official case supplement called Forged and Framed, where the standard investigation tropes all get flipped on their head. So instead of chasing criminals, you're subjected to their fate as this complex art heist has been pinned on your crew. And you have to figure out what happened. Or not, actually. It plays out a bunch of different ways. I love City of Mist because it's fun, and I really plan on working with their team a lot more in the future. I recently finished being a cast member on Evenfall, but I've done a lot of other stuff with Jacob's host channel, Arcane Arcade, namely the Arcane Lounge podcast, where I got to talk to Jacob and just kind of be myself, which I haven't really done in a while. It was fun. I've also actually done a lot of other podcasts, so I don't remember all of them, but I'll see if I can try. Filling in the Gaps, where we created the weirdest one-shot ever. So you have to pass a final. Finals are extremely vague and they're at any subject. Let's say, I think just to make it really simple to start, I think you're dreaming as a horse. I was on Crit Fails, where we made a centaur giraffe.
At that point, you could have a centaur that evolves to be just real tall. To reach
a giraffe-tar.
Yes, that's where I was going. Thank you.
I played a Warforged for a podcast called House Civis Broadcasting, which is a fictional radio show in Eberron. And ending the extent of my memory, I was on another questionnaire-style one with a smaller group called Lotus Media. So that's been my year, and we aren't even halfway done. I plan on moving to Washington soon later this year as a solo dude, so I might go quiet for a month as I adjust and actually get a place picked out. For April, I'm really going to try to just make videos that I enjoy, and I have all of you guys to thank for that vote of confidence behind actually committing to doing that instead of just doing a bunch of basically videos. Those aren't going away, but I don't want to do a whole bunch of them because I'm running out of ideas. But in addition to that, I'm pretty sure it's already been announced, I'm going to be a part of Bards for Bards, which is this big, massive community of D&D creators that are doing a charity for, I believe, people who need help getting through music school. So that'll be neat. Until then.